We have a new United States champion on SmackDown. Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 56. And let's talk about that match, Sean. The Ilja Dragunov Sami Zayn US Open Challenge match with the returning Ilja Dragunov. Awesome, just awesome. And I can't wait to break it down with you. As you know, as always, guys, I'm Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by my main man, Mr. Sean O'Neill. And dude, what a return. What a return. What a rock star. Ilya's the man. And that match was like 40 minutes and it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Best thing they've done on SmackDown in months.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit worried when I thought it was going to be The Miz at first.
I
As much as I like The Miz, and I think The Miz is good at his job, I'm not all about a Miz versus Sami Zayn match. So thankfully, they continued that Carmelo Hayes Miz feud that's going to be coming. But I had heard rumors that Dragunov was backstage. Did I expect him to come out for the open challenge? Not at all. Did I expect him to put on a 5-star match on an episode of SmackDown? Not at all. And did I expect a change in title? No way. Everybody by now knows my opinions of Sami Zayn. However, hopefully everybody has heard me talk enough about how high I am on the open challenge. So my hope is that Dragunov continues it. I'm curious if they have him continue to be his face character he was when he left. If he's a face, I think he should continue the open challenge. If he's a heel, I think he should change the name of the title and be like, screw all of you. And I think that would be hysterical. But I think the open challenge was a great way to showcase people, and it lets you bring up NXT people. It lets you do all kinds of stuff with it. And I think that that's something they should continue with Dragunov.
completely agree. And I think they should do, I mean, this was great for him also to do like this, like I said, this like 40 something minute match with Sami Zayn, because it really did I feel like almost he needs to be kind of quasi reintroduced to a lot of
Yep.
people because he's been gone for what, 13, 14 months? Like, I mean,
Yeah, he's been gone for a
it's
while.
been a long time, right? So, and I think also too, with the way the match ended with, the MFTs coming out and Ray Phoenix and Sami Zayn all trying to like fight off the MFTs, and then the Wyatt Six getting involved as well, like with all that extra stuff that's going on there. You're like, you've got a bunch of crap going on around this title now, right? Which is
Yep.
good. And it gives him a ton of opponents, right? Like there are a ton of opponents that he can face. You could do a program with him and Ray Phoenix for, or just at least a match. And then hell, have him face off against every single one of the MFTs.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Right? I'd love to see him go up against the law firm, and I'd love to see him go up against Hikuleo and then eventually Solo, right? Like, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. And
So
he's such a good wrestler. He's such a good wrestler.
so I absolutely love that I have you calling him the law firm now. So um no, I think that the other thing too is that everything going around this title, and with Dragunov winning it, automatically ranks him above Dominic Mysterio on Raw.
Yep. Yep.
Like, and when's the last time you could say, prior to what's going on now with the U.S. title, that the U.S. title was a stronger title than the Intercontinental title, which was for years known as the workhorse title. And now it feels like that flip-flopped. The U.S. title feels like it's a workhorse title. The IC title kind of feels like an afterthought.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I can think of is when John Cena was doing the U.S. Open Challenge.
Yeah.
Like
That,
that's when it was a big deal. Like, because you were introducing like Kevin Owens and different wrestlers like at that point, Sami Zayn as well, right? And yeah, AJ Styles, like yeah, absolutely.
and then like you said, the match itself, I mean, the back and forth, the hitting finishers, and then the little bit of the distraction from Solo Sikoa, which I'm okay with. He didn't actually get involved in the match. I much prefer that kind of distraction than matches ending because people got involved in them. You know what I mean? And it gave Dragunov the opportunity to drop whatchamacallit with the H bomb, and which is just such a goofy finisher to me, but it actually looks impactful. I mean, you're
Yeah,
taking a full on like rocket elbow to the face. That's
yeah,
yeah, that's gonna KO someone.
yeah.
um And I don't know. I mean, he put on great matches with Gunther in the past. And we know that Dragunov can work with people of all sizes. I mean, Sammy's a smaller guy, Dragunov's a huge, or Gunther's a huge guy. And hell, if this leads to at some point down the road another match between Gunther and Dragunov,
Give it
I'd
to
be
me.
all for that.
Give it
Like
to me right now.
right into my veins, inject that shit. And like you said, the fact he did kind of need to be reintroduced because he was gone for so long. I think it was with a leg injury, right?
I think he tore his ACL. Yeah.
Against Gunther, I think.
No,
Wasn't it?
no, I don't think it was against Gunther, was it? I don't even remember. I'll have to look that up. I don't
Yeah, it was
remember.
so long ago. But regardless, nobody has seen him. Nobody's even mentioned him in that long. And he was almost an afterthought because of it. To hear his music, and that's the other thing too. Dragunov has some pretty distinct music when he comes out. So like it's not one of these cases where we get the Def Rebel treatment. We're like, who the hell's that?
I actually like his music. I think it's like it suits the character perfectly.
It does, but it feels because it's like that it sounds like a foreign heels music a little bit.
It
Is the
does.
only thing I don't like about it. And Dragunov, I don't think has ever actually been a heel. He's always been a face on WWE. But I'm okay with all this. I loved it. I loved how long it went, and I mean, I kind of hope they give Sammy a rematch. But my big thing coming out of this is I really want the U.S. Open challenge to continue.
I agree, and I think like what I said, with Dragunov maybe having a bunch of matches like lined up for him. I also think that we are very much going in the direction of Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa as well, right? Like they've been teasing
Yeah,
that for a while, and Solo has kind of like gotten himself involved with Sammy, but also too, the Wyatts are clearly kind of involved as well with the MFTs. So the MFTs kind of like have a lot going on, which I think is a good thing, right? Like your universe building in SmackDown a little bit. And it's almost like, the story of like the AI getting involved and helping to write SmackDown might have some truth to it because maybe it's making things a little bit better and a little bit more fleshed out.
Oh, you mean the AI that wanted to bring Bobby Lashley back as a guy obsessed with Japanese culture? I don't
Because
know
he
how
never,
much I believe that story, but we could do a separate video on that.
yeah.
My only question with the Wyatts and MFT things is where is Bo been? Where's Uncle Howdy been? Like
He 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 was in I mean, there was a video segment that he did, but
when he hasn't been there in person. Is he still hurt?
well, I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't
You
I
know what I
didn't even
mean? Like
I didn't even know that he was hurt.
yeah, him and Dexter I think had both had injuries of some sort. But I think isn't the last time we saw him when they defended the titles because he came out with them for that. But that's the last time we saw him.
Yeah.
But no, I think I'm still a little bit concerned that that's going to be our War Games match. Um, I don't know who would team with the Wyatts though to replace Nikki, since obviously she's not going to take part in the War Games match. Especially with everything going on Raw with Seth's injury and the Vision and all that. I don't know that I'm a little worried that they're going to be forced to do MFT as Wyatts as the War Games, and I don't think that's as exciting.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're just gonna put some schmosh podge match together, but just because I don't think it's a big enough thing, right? Like I don't think it's a big enough pairing of
Yeah.
superstars in the main event of what's likely to be the main event of the show, unless you do like, I don't know, Cody and Drew, or how maybe you do Braun Breaker and CM Punk or something like that for the title. Like, unless you do one of those matches as like the title match main event, usually the men's war game match closes the show, and I have a feeling it's going to be like a hodgepodge of like Roman Reigns, the Usos, CM Punk, Cody, uh, whoever else, right? Like versus all of the bad guys. Probably a returning Austin Theory who will join that group, which has been heavily speculated. and then whoever else the hell they get to help them out. Maybe if Cody gets involved, Drew gets involved.
Like if this were like a traditional old school Survivor Series, I'd be fine with like a 5-on-5 elimination tag match between the MFTs and the Wyatts. But I just don't think a War Games is good for them. I will say though, the hell happened to Tama Tonga? He looks like he ate himself. He is so much bigger now.
He is
Like, if
bigger.
you did you
A
see
lot
that?
bigger.
Like, I don't know what kind of training regimen they put him on while he was out injured, but he literally looks like he ate the old Tama Tonga.
Yeah, he got a lot bigger. So did Dragunov though. Dragunov looks a lot bigger
Yeah.
too. I mean, he's short, but he definitely put on size.
Oh yeah. Which is
So
why the elbow to the face looks believable to knock someone out.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so absolutely solid. Like I'm really excited to see where it goes. And I gotta hope that them pulling the trigger on something like this. I know on Raw we're gonna get another match between Rusev and Dom. And I mean, unless like Penta gets involved again, which will probably happen and will probably be stupid. Because they literally just did that. But pull trigger on Rusev too, you know?
That match needs to be a three-way and have one of the other two guys win it, is what they need to do. And I don't know if that's why they keep doing this interference, is because they're building to the match being a three-way. But one way or another, all three of those guys need to be in a match for the Intercontinental title with a change of title.
I completely agree. I mean,
I
it
don't really
just
care who, but just somebody else with it gets when it wins.
yeah. Yeah, I think I think Liv's got to come back like
Yeah.
ASAP because we got to just move this shit along. But I mean, I digress. We'll talk about Raw, after we get through that. Um, so the other major storyline from this show as well was everything that went on with Cody, Drew, and Jacob. So Cody comes out to kick off the show, talked about his loss at Crown Jewel a little bit, and then made note that there was going to be a number one contenders match between Jacob and Drew. Now there have been reports that Jacob is injured,
Yeah.
and I think that this is probably a way to write him off. Now, I wanted you to get into this a little bit and kind of take us through everything that happened in the main event, and then give our audience what your theory was with regards to Cody, because I did think, well, I thought it was initially probably not. I gave it a bit of a second thought, and I'm actually kind of interested in it. So I'll let you go ahead.
So obviously the scheduled main event didn't happen. The of Jacob Fatu versus Drew. Prior to it going on, there was yelling in the backstage area, and they found Jacob face down in a pool of his own blood and teeth, with backstage equipment laying on top of him, and of course, meaning he wasn't ready to go. Definitely lends credence to him being injured being in fact true, which is unfortunate because I know I was actually looking forward to a Jacob Drew match. I think that is would be when that happens. That's going to be an incredibly fun match.
Oh yeah.
Both those guys are awesome. Um, so this led to Drew coming out and running his mouth in the ring, only for Cody to storm out, interrupting Nick Aldis, yelling enough, which Cody doesn't normally do, mind you. That was the first weird thing. Cody doesn't normally storm out. So he storms out yelling about how he's sick of all this, he's sick of everything, yada yada yada. And you notice he wasn't super specific about Drew for every single thing he said. He was kind of just like, I'm sick of this shit. But he tells Drew, he's like, you know what, you want to be number one? Fine, let's just do the title match now. Not even in wrestling gear. He's in his suit still. So they throwing down in the ring, and the match ends with Drew throwing Cody over into the ring, the ring masters area. I'm struggling here for a moment. And Cody clocking Drew with the title to get DQ'd. Then attempting to put Drew through the table with a crossroads, only to be stopped by the security. So part of me is wondering because a lot of Cody's mannerisms and the way he was acting during this segment came across as very heelish to me. I
Mhm.
mean, when's the last time we saw Cody get himself DQ'd or cheat to win? It was when he was facing Kevin Owens, when he was already sort of walking that.
Oh, also with Cena too, kind of in the second match a little bit.
Yeah, that's also another point. So see, he's done it a couple times where he's not a lot, but it's always been where people have been talking about a potential Cody Rhodes heel turn. And I don't know if they're doing these things because I was thinking about it after you and I talked about it too. And I don't know if they're doing this just to try to throw people off because people are talking about it. But what if it wasn't McIntyre that attacked Fatu backstage? What if it was Cody? Just to get an excuse to go out there and attack Drew again and go forth from there. Are we going to see an official Cody heel turn here? And it's not going to be Randy that turns? What do you think? I know you said you were thinking about it.
I just don't know. I mean, I guess because, and some of our subscribers have talked about this as well. It just seems so obvious that it's going to be Randy, right? And maybe that's
Right.
that they're going to try and tell. But I really have a hard time thinking they're going to turn Captain America heel, right? Like, I just don't think it's going to happen. Like, Cody's such a merchandise mover. He's such a big star. I have a hard time seeing them turn heel because if Cody turns heel, who is the biggest baby face in the company then? CM Punk?
So that was what I was just about to say. What if this is a byproduct of Seth's injury? Because on Raw, you go from having a heel as your champion to most likely CM Punk, who's a face. Do they want a heel champ on SmackDown then?
So do we think that that's actually going to happen though? I mean, do we really think that Punk is going to win? Because
Um,
I'm not sure anymore. I gave
are they
that a
going to
lot of
keep the
thought too,
title?
and I kind of think they're going to just put it on Breaker, even if
Already?
it's for a short period of time. I kind of think it's just going to go on break. I actually think that might happen on Raw tonight or whenever the hell Raw is. It's Monday.
No.
Yeah, so whenever Raw is, I have a feeling because they're going to address it, and they said that they didn't mention whether or not Seth is going to be on TV. So what if Seth does come out because they're going to write him off because allegedly
Relinquish the title.
he's got a broken whatever, right? And Braun Breaker just destroys him and just wins it, right? And then you have CM Punk and Braun Breaker at Saturday night's main event.
Have they confirmed what actually is Rollins' injury?
No, and they won't because
So
they didn't confirm the last one either. But like that's
yeah,
my
but
point. Like
that was also storyline.
yeah, so I don't know. I could. We've been talking about this a lot, right? Like they need an influx of young talent, and even if it's just for a little bit, like what a great way to kick off, to continue the rocket that is attached to Braun Breaker. Put the title on, even if it's for a few months.
But then how do you get Punk the title back?
Punk beats him at the Royal Rumble. Punk beats him at WrestleMania. WrestleMania is 6 months away. Not even 5.5 months away.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that does then take away from my thoughts on them wanting a because I have to imagine they generally don't want two heels or two faces as champions. You know what I mean? They generally it seems like they want similar like alternating champs. Um,
And
I
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, and I've also changed my mind a little bit with where they're going to go with somebody else who's probably they're waiting for the right moment, and that's Gunther. I'm now in the camp that Gunther should be the one to beat Cody, not Randy. And which is why I think that Cody can't turn heel.
Yeah, I mean,
I want the main event of WrestleMania. I don't want it to be Cody and Randy anymore. I want it to be Cody and Gunther. I want Gunther to win the Royal Rumble, and I want Gunther to beat Cody
what made you change your mind?
because they're not gonna put Gunther and Braun Breaker together. Nor are they gonna
Even
do
though
Gunther. They're not gonna do Gunther and CM Punk again too. They've already
even
done
though
that.
Gunther and even though Gunther and Braun had a fantastic feud in NXT,
I don't think they'll do it again. They're both heels.
Um, yeah. So
I mean, unless they turn Braun Breaker face, which maybe they'll do that.
I think Braun, and I mentioned it on one of our previous shows, I think Braun is one of those people who can be both heel and face. You have him turn on the Vision eventually and just be like, I don't need you doing this BS. Because I'm such a badass, I can do it myself. But if you go Gunther Cody, do you just have Gunther come back at the Rumble and win it,
I mean,
or do you have him come back?
at this point, the Rumble is 3 months away,
Because
right?
it also depends, I think, on what happens with if Gunther is going to be Cena's final opponent. Because he could also use that as an argument to get a title shot too. Be like, oh,
Absolutely.
I retired Goldberg, I retired Cena.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? I mean, then you have him win the Royal Rumble. I mean, like, I think that that's
You're right about that.
absolutely the way to do it because that's when Gunther will probably come back whenever they start this tournament, which will probably be like right after Survivor Series, right? Like Gunther will probably maybe Gunther comes back at Survivor Series and helps one of the teams win or just kills somebody in one of the title matches. And then he wins that thing to, he goes on that few week thing there to to be the one to retire John Cena. And then after that Saturday night's main event, you've got 6 weeks from then until the Royal Rumble, and you just have Gunther kill people for a few weeks, and then just be like, "Yeah, I'm just better than everybody. I'm just gonna kill everybody, and I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble. I retired Goldberg. I retired John Cena. I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble, and then I'm gonna kill you, Cody Rhodes." And then he does.
So, and I think if you do Gunther winning the Rumble, I think you have him win it from one or two.
Yep,
I think you have him go the distance and win it
yep, completely
because
agree.
then that he's one of a few number of legends who have done that, and I think that for his character, the bragging rights and the I'm the ring general. This mat is sacred. I'm better than everybody. I think that fits his character so well, and I think moving him to SmackDown is the right decision too, because he did so much over on Raw already. I think that him moving into the SmackDown title picture, and I don't know if his run needs to be quite as long as it was on Raw, but I still think he should have at least probably a year.
Hell, you could have Cody beat him at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
mean,
don't know that I have Cody win the title again though right away. Or next. I think you have somebody else win it before Cody wins it back. I
yeah,
think
maybe.
Cody. I feel like we're moving into the point where after Cody loses it this time, he doesn't need to win the title again for a while, if at all.
No, I mean he will win it again. I mean, I think Cody by the when Cody because Cody's 40 years old, Cody will probably be done at like 44, 45, and Cody will not get to 16, right? But I think Cody's at what, 2 now?
Yeah,
I think Cody will probably be at like 4 or 5
I
when
have
he's
him win the
when
Raw
it's all
title.
done. What?
I have him win the Raw title.
I think eventually, and it's not going to happen this year unless we take a complete 180. But I want the main event of WrestleMania next year, not 2026, 2027, which is going to probably be that Saudi one,
Yeah,
to be Cody and CM Punk.
yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, as long as Punk can still go.
Yeah. So that's what I want. Because
However, that's also
we gotta get that program. We have to get that program at some point.
honestly, I think the year that they do the WrestleMania in Saudi, I think that the SummerSlam that year is going to be bigger than normal because with not having a WrestleMania in the US, I think you're going to have a bigger other event here.
Probably. I mean, and then like keep in mind too, like, you know, and with the things coming up too, like what are we gonna do with Roman Reigns? Right? Like where
Yeah,
is Roman? We're gonna have to do. We need to have a Roman and Seth match at some point. We need to do a Roman and Braun match at some point. So like Roman and CM Punk for right now are going to be involved with everything that's going on with Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and all that stuff. So that's all going to be tied up there for a while. So Gunther's a big star. He's gonna him, Randy, Drew McIntyre, all those guys should be around Cody's title for right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it should go. And I'm aware, guys, we are going on this kind of tangent for a long time, but frankly, there wasn't much else to talk about from this episode of SmackDown.
Well,
There was
just the women.
there's a women's title match and a Motor City Machine Guns match, which I mean both were fine. But we'll get into those in a little bit. So just kind of fantasy booking here out a little bit, just because these were kind of the two biggest angles from the program and really the only things to watch on SmackDown this week.
The women's one, I do have a couple points when we get to that. But I think that Raw, and the problem with Roman, though, is not just in regards to Raw, but just in a general Roman Reigns issue, is that he is definitely following the Dwayne route. And I think sooner rather than later, he is going to be seen even less than he currently is. Because he's definitely not going to go the Cena route where he comes back as often as Cena did. Because when Cena first went Hollywood, Cena was still coming back and wrestling a decent amount. I don't think that I don't think Roman wrestles as much as Cena.
Yeah, he's going to turn into a special attraction, I think.
Yeah, sort of like a Brock, the way they use Brock.
And that's also my other point as well. I'm glad you brought up Brock because I think that that's another person that gets added to the Vision group as well, right? For
Yeah.
War Games. Brock,
So
Austin Theory, and then they bring somebody else in.
yeah,
Or you do a 4-on-4, right? Or you do a 4-on-4 and you do Brock, Austin Theory, the Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed versus Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and CM Punk.
yeah, and I mean if you did get a fifth person, it would probably be LA Knight, right? On the
Yeah,
face side.
LA Knight for the faces, and then I don't know, pick a heel for the heels,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So yeah, so absolutely. That is absolutely where they go with it.
I could see it. Um, it definitely leaves a lot of openings on both sides though for people. I mean, especially on the SmackDown side with everything on the Raw side, pretty much your main players already being set. You're not wrong about what you said with people needing to face Cody more. There's more opportunity there. Um,
Yeah.
I think the problem is though is that they haven't done a roster shakeup or a draft, and
I no longer think is going to happen.
I don't either, and I
I
think that's
think
a mistake.
Yeah, I know T has been beating that drum for a while, but I don't think it's going to happen anymore. I think they might just casually, like, people might just show up on the other show, and I think that's kind of how it's going to go.
If they were going to do it, it would have happened in September because usually when the WWE does their drafts, it's either right after WrestleMania or it's in September. And obviously, neither of those happened. And I think that's a missed opportunity for WWE on a couple fronts. It lets you move fresh blood between rosters, it lets you move some NXT people up, and it lets you help the women's side of things too. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that I will say, I think we are going to see some NXT call ups though, because like Trick Williams lost the TNA title, and I feel like he's ready to come up.
He probably will at the Royal Rumble.
I feel like the ruler, the hell's his name, Obafemi, is ready to come up.
Probably at the Royal
I mean,
Rumble.
a couple of the women are ready. We've already seen some of them, and so they definitely need to get that fresh blood.
Yeah, and actually that's a good segue, but I wanna one more thing I want to get into. Actually, two more things I want to get into before we talk about the rest of the show. One, what are we gonna do with Becky Lynch now that Seth might be gone for a while? She's still got to drop that title to AJ Lee.
I don't know now. She might hold that title longer now, especially because there hasn't been any talk about AJ Lee for a little while now.
Becky's supposed to have a match with Maxine, I think, for the title on Raw, which maybe this is where AJ Lee comes back.
Maybe comes back and like distracts her. She gets DQ'd or something.
And then this is how we get their match at Saturday night's main event for the title.
I will say, if we don't see AJ Lee come back tonight and interfere, we won't see her for a little while.
Okay.
I will make
And
that
then,
prediction right now.
And then my other question for you is we've spent a lot of time talking about the men's War Games match. What right now, you had to fantasy book it. What is the women's War Games match?
Alexa and Charlotte, it's two. Rhea, Io, and I'm not sure who the fifth person is. Give me a minute to think about that. Against the Kabuki Warriors, Chelsea Green, Alba Fire, and some one other heel and face.
Just trying to think of like how this would go. Like I suppose you could get Asuka and
Or
then them together.
Asuka, Kairi Sane, and the Judgment Day, and one other heel or face. Or um, that's when Liv comes back. You get the Judgment Day trio. You get and then the Kabuki Warriors against Rhea, Io, um, Charlotte, and
No,
Alexa.
no, 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 no. I love your idea for the heels. Asuka, Kyrie, and the Judgment Day, the three of them versus Rhea, Io, Lyra, Bailey, and get one
One
more
other
face.
person.
Get one more face in there because
Yeah.
then it's like all sorts of goofy with like what's Bailey gonna do, right? Because
Yeah.
Bailey and Lyra have to be in there, right?
Yep. No. If the Judgment Day is, they need to be in there. Yeah, you're right. Who else could it be from the women's side? Face wise from
I mean,
Raw.
maybe Stephanie because she's gonna feud with Roxanne, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You
You
put
could
Stephanie McCurry in there.
you could put Stephanie in there as well. Stephanie's not yet done a War Games match, so that would be perfect for her.
Yep.
And then, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And then I hope that that's where they go with that because I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that would be a really fun match. Now that I'm glad I got the heel side of that right, but I think your face choices there are really good.
Yeah. And I mean, I suppose because, Chelsea is involved in things, but I have a feeling we're going to go with Chelsea and her, somebody are going to have another match with Alexa and Charlotte. I would
Yeah.
assume that's probably the direction we will go. Um, which obviously, as we mentioned, Alexa and Charlotte did have a match against Sol Ruka and Zarya. And I mean, other than the Soul Snatcher just being the greatest finisher like ever, this match was fine. Charlotte Flair won with a figure eight on Sol Ruka. The talking point from this match was that what's her face was at ringside. What's her
Blake
name?
Monroe.
Thank you. She was at ringside, and she obviously kind of was distracting Soul and Zarya a little bit there. So it's very likely that she will be the one to take that women's championship off of Sol Ruka at some
Yes.
point in NXT, which is fine. You got to get a title on her like soon because I think, frankly, after she has a run as NXT Women's Champion, I want her on the main roster.
Oh, I think Zarya turns on Soul because they've been teasing that for a little while, like subtle teasing of it. And
Oh, your audio's dipping a little bit.
Oh, is that better?
No,
Is that better?
that's better.
Sorry, someone was trying to call me.
That's okay.
It's like I think that Zarya is going to cost Soul the title against Blake Monroe because they've sort of been teasing that little dissension there. But I also think that you're right. Blake Monroe needs to be on the main roster. And I would have 100% loved to see a little bit more interaction between her and Charlotte. Like there was a point where when Blake had Soul distracted, Charlotte came and chop blocked her right next to her and was leaning like on the railing next to her. I would have liked to see some interaction there. Because I think that feud, especially with the new Charlotte that we've seen, is a feud that I would enjoy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But yeah, no,
So
like you said,
yeah,
the Soul Snatcher is just probably one
it's
of the
such a
best finishers.
it's such a cool move.
Yeah,
But obviously there was no way Alexa and Charlotte were losing here. And it was good to see that WWE didn't forget about the Motor City Machine Guns either as well, because
yeah,
where have they been for a minute? And they defeated Los Garza because of course they did.
yeah.
And so it was a fine match, just puts the Motor City Machine Guns on TV and hopefully, they can just kind of continue that because you've got a million tag teams on SmackDown, and every week there should be a match like that on SmackDown. Every single week there should probably be two, frankly.
Yeah.
You should probably have two tag team matches on SmackDown because you've got like 10 great tag teams on SmackDown right now. And there should be,
Like we're
you know,
Fraxium, Ben.
Fraxium, DIY. Obviously, the Wyatts are doing their thing now, but they're the tag team champions. You've got the MFTs. You've got Pretty Deadly. You know, Street Profits. You've got all these teams. Los Garza, right? The Motor City Machine Guns. That's 8 teams.
Yep.
Like you should be doing matches every week. You know. So, but yeah, fine. And then you know there were a couple of backstage segments. Aleister Black. The hell knows what we're gonna do with him. I mean, it was nice to see that you put Zelina with him, but his feud with Damian Priest better friggin' be over. Like, so help me, that better be over. Um, so yeah, all in all, fine show though. I mean, you know, good SmackDown. The United States Open Challenge was awesome. It was the best part of the show, and I'm really glad that Dragunov's back, and I'm excited to see where they go with it, and looking forward to Raw. So you know, let's get through this Saturday night's main event in a couple of weeks here. Really interested to see what happens with the World Heavyweight Championship and get that Survivor Series build going, I think.
So I give it a 4 out of 5. It was the best SmackDown in a long time. Um, Mainly sold on the fact that that U.S. Open Challenge was as long of a match as it was, and the title change. But I'm interested to see where they go with Cody and with Jacob and Drew and that too. But then we have Raw tonight, which brings its own entertainment, so we'll get to talk about that hopefully tomorrow. But I've enjoyed WWE the last couple weeks, and other than the terrible crowd in Australia, so hopefully once they're back in the U.S. tonight, it'll be a little bit better.
I agree. Yeah, you know, to everything you said, and you know that I love that match, and that's why my final rating is an AI out of 5. So thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode. We will catch you guys after we for tonight, probably tomorrow when we have a Raw, you know, get a chance to watch Raw and see everything that goes down as we mentioned. And yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, smash that like and subscribe button and have yourselves a fantastic day. Thank you so much and take care.